Hello and welcome to Dragon Age 2 Nightmare Difficulty Boss Run. And this is Wraith, the first major boss fight in the game. This is at the end of Act 1 in the Deep Roads. And this is the fight. I took Barrick, Fenris and Aveline. And I did not take Anders because I thought that Anders will make it easier, because Anders is kind of a healer. But you will see, I will not explain the fight because there is not much to explain, but you will see how it turns out because it's really interesting. And meanwhile, that you see the boss fight, I'm going to be talking about the game now. I will stop comparing it to Dragon Age Origins, because if I do, this will end up being as like a 18th minute rant. Jesus fucking Christ, I can't talk right now. So sorry guys. So I will be talking about the game in itself. So the first time that I played it, I just noticed the rumors of the game being made. They weren't like rumors, but we all knew that the game was rushed and was made in a year. And that wasn't really a thing, but the thing is that when they were announcing it, and of course they were overhyping it, they said that Kirkwall, the city where everything occurs, that to explain it, everything happens in a single city and nowhere else. I mean, now we are in the Deep Roads, yes, but the main story happens in the single city, and the city is just too small. It doesn't feel like a city. You feel the rushed game everywhere, like in the design of the maps, in the design of the characters, of the levels, of the story itself, in everything. So we really shouldn't blame BioWare for this, or maybe we should, but not heavily. I mean, we all know that the demon behind this, the abomination, so to speak, behind BioWare is Electronic Arts. So they did what they could, and what they could do with the characters and kinda parts of the story was I mean, the game is still fun. So it's not boring. At least if I finish a game, this is what happened when I first played. Like, I found myself like seeing a lot of the shortcomings of the game, but I just kept playing it and I finished it. So it cannot be considered a bad game. It's just considered a bad game when you see the Dragon Age Origins, and well, I mean, Origins, I think it had like 5 years of a development cycle. Excuse me. I think it was 5 years, or maybe 7. I don't know. It was huge. So you can see the difference right there in the time the game was cooking, so to speak. So now the thing about this game is that it doesn't even have compelling characters. It just, like, for example, you see Aveline, and she's like the kinda strong girl, kinda steward of the group, kind of. And then you see Hawk, who should be the protagonist, who has no real emotions at all. And it's not a thing like the protagonist is you, so it doesn't have. No, they try to do kinda like a Shepherd of Mass Effect here. But they failed. They failed because they didn't have time to give it a proper personality. It's just a common RPG dude that does things for others. He doesn't have a real personality. So you have Fenris, who is like the emo dude. You have Anders, and don't get me started on Anders. I mean, in the DLC, in the awesome DLC of Dragon Age Origins, Awakening, Anders was a fun character. He was fun. Like you almost wanted him in the party all the time because he was just fun. He was like the Barrick of of uh, of Awakening. So in here there's just it's just another guy. Anders is a different guy in this game. First of all, he's gay. I don't remember him being gay in the first game. I don't have a problem with that. But the thing is that he's not only gay, he's hollow. I mean, everything that made him fun is gone. It's like it's another different character. He's not really funny at all. He's always complaining. It's like the Alistair of Dragon Age 2. He's always complaining and being overly critical about things. And really, guys, it's tiresome. Like having him in the party and always siding with the mages, like heavily siding with the mages. And he's a warden, so he really should have a better understanding of the world. It's just a badly designed character, and I don't understand the change because Anders was really cool. And what else? Who am I forgetting? I don't know. I mean, Barrick is the best character of the game, of this game. Barrick is really fun. He's the central character of the game besides Hawk. So he's really fun. It's really fun to talk to him. It's really fun to have him in the party at all times. It really is. But Meryl is just the sweet, shy, and awkward girl. Like, there are too many cliches characters. And when you see Dragon Age Origins, you had Sten, who had a very defined characteristic, a stoic member of the Qun with his rules. It was interesting and fun. And then you have Morrigan. Well, I don't have to explain Morrigan to people who already play the game, but Morrigan is the central character of Dragon Age Origins. But a very strong character, very strong characteristics of his personality made her fun to play with and talk to. And then you have Liliana, which is also fun, which I'm really glad that she is in Inquisition, but I hope they didn't do like a Anders thing. I really hope not. But then you have I don't know, everyone, like Shale even. Shale was a part of the DLC, but he's really fun to talk to. And the dwarf, what was the dwarf name? Ogren? I think it was Ogren. I think, but whatever. And so much. Alistair was kind of like Fenris here, or Anders. A lot of complaining and a lot of whining, but he had an interesting history either ways, a personal history. So they were all interesting characters, and I mean, not even the antagonists in Dragon Age 2 are interesting. Like you don't meet them in all seriousness until Act 2 end and Act 3, most of it. It's like the game spends too much time, like we spend too much time with Hawk as a central character of the story, which it's trying to be, right? Hawk is the story. But the thing is that if you make a character study type of game, like for example Planescape Torment, which I will not dare compare it to this in any way, but if you make a character study game when everything revolves around him, you have to make him interesting. Like, you have to make him have an interesting personality, and he doesn't have one. So the story already fails in that regard. And besides that, the story in itself is just the war of the wizards versus the Chantry, the Templars. It's the beginning of the war, at least. So not really that interesting, guys. At least not as it's told in the game. As you can see I will talk a little about what is going on here. As you can see, I'm trying to keep these guys alive, but the Rock Wraith in Nightmare is so fucking tough that it hits like a truck. Not even Aveline. Look at Aveline. Look at her health. I mean, I having trouble keeping Aveline alive even. And I had to respec my wizard at this point, and made him. I gave him a couple of anti-lightning runes, and armor resistant to lightning, and what else? And a couple of sustainable spells that give resist also to lightning. So I cannot be damaged by the Rock Wraith minions or the Rock Wraith when it decides to throw the projectiles. But I continue to have trouble with this boss because it just hits like a truck. It's a weird spike of difficulty because the game really is not that hard until this point. Really not that hard. And in this point it just spikes. As you can see, the Rock Wraith shoot me, but I have like 97 or 98 of electricity resistance, so I'm almost immune. And the thing that made this fight even harder than it is because I didn't bring Anders, or I didn't bring a healer. So I'm just with my health and the pots that I brought, which I don't remember how many there were, but not many. I could have bought more. So that ended up dragging the fight so long, and almost failed in it, as you will see in the end. But I decided to leave it because it's an honest fight. I mean, it was like the fourth try, and it's honest. I mean, I barely made it out alive, and I decided to leave it. Although I will be announcing something that the next, as I'm getting to the level requirement that I wanted to have, so I can respec and I decided to make like an arcane warrior. The arcane warrior specialization in this game doesn't exist, which bothers me and bothered a lot of people when the game released. But I did wanted to have like an arcane mage that you can do, not with real skills, but you can stack sustainables, and you have a staff that makes like physical damage, like if you were a sword. So I will be respecing into arcane warrior and at that point, the rest of the bosses, of the major bosses of the game, I will be doing it solo. Me alone against the rest of the bosses, as I'm kinda doing now. As you can see, everyone is dead. I have no way to revive them. So at this point I'm thinking, am I fucked again? Like I died like 4 times, or do I continue fighting? And I said I'll continue fighting to see what happens, because I have only one health potion, and as you can see, the boss is really fucking my shit up. I have the dog to distract him. As you can see, I'm not sure if I use the pot now or later. The health is not going down really quickly. I'm throwing Crushing Prison because he does like a sustained effect of damage, and I'm throwing Walking Bomb. And you say, why you will throw Walking Bomb if the effect is when he dies? Well, no, I have a status effect of Walking Bomb that does spirit damage over time, so that's why I'm throwing Walking Bomb. And I'm kinda trying to decide if I'm going to cut the recording or not, but I decided to leave it. And when he does that, when he comes swinging his mace, that's like a death to me, because I have lightning resistance and arcane resistance, but I don't have even if I have the rock armor, I don't really resist too much punches of him. And he's doing his thing now, and I already used my last potion, so it's now or never in my mind. And I think I started to notice that I'm not using the potions of mana, so I will start drinking that and throwing Crushing Prison. You see, he does a lot of physical damage. And this is really a spike in difficulty, at least in Nightmare. I don't know, I don't really remember if it was this difficulty, normal difficulty or hard. I don't think so. But in Nightmare he's really hard. It's kind of like a spike. If you don't bring the correct party, the thing is that when you come to the deep roads, you cannot change the party afterwards. So you're kind of committed to what you did, to what the party members you selected, and if you selected wrong, you kind of have to do all the deep roads again. That's kind of like a mistake, a clear mistake from the people at BioWare. But I did consciously not bring Anders here because I did want a challenge from this boss, and it was a challenge. So look at my health right now. I'm almost at the brink of death. If he comes rolling towards me and I get hit, and then he hits me once again with a normal hit, I'm dead. Like I'm 2 hits or 1 hit away from death right now. So I'm fighting his attacks. I notice his health is low. I'm waiting for Crushing Prison, and he's about to go down. Now what's that? He respawned and he could have hit me there, but he didn't. And I think he's about to go down. Yes, barely making out alive this boss fight. But we made it, so we'll see each other in the next boss fight. It will be a solo boss fight, so take care guys, see ya.